We have another Dream Theater song to talk about entitled Moment of Betrayal, but before I do that, happy birthday to Fulton Berry. Happy birthday to Fulton's Reviews. If you are not subscribed to this guy, you need to be. Link to his wonderful and awesome channel that covers a lot of prog in the description box below. Go do it now. So we got the gift of music, literally, from Dream Theater a little bit ago. It was our first taste of the Astonishing, which we're only about a week or so out, but this new song was debuted on That Metal Show, which has been canceled. I mean, what? I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan of That Metal Show. Eddie Trunk is kind of a dick, but it's kind of one of the last remaining shows about heavy metal that are out there, so we need someone to take over. Hi VH1, how you doing? I'm available, and I'm kind of cheap. So let's talk about Moment of Betrayal. This track, which is actually our first taste of Act 2 off of The Astonishing, coming in at, I believe, the second track position. About 6 minutes in length, and musically speaking, this is one that seems to be setting up a form of conflict that will be very much prevalent in Act 2, as comparative to the first act, it is shorter, so we're going to see more of the concluding aspect of this album. What it also means, like any great movie, like any great piece of cinema, it's also going to be where most of the action is. So I expect this portion of the disc to be exceptionally aggressive and contain perhaps some of the best music on the overall album. And if Moment of Betrayal is any sort of indicator, it's going to be a true statement regardless. And really, I'm basing this not off of my own seerish belief, my own wonderful, wonderful notion, but actually based off of just how you would really set up anything like this, with establishment of conflict, all going toward a rip-roaring, action-packed conclusion. Musically speaking, though, this is a song that really shows direction. It showcases that Dream Theater is not letting this lavish concept get to their head, and they're still doing what Dream Theater does best, which is allowing their music to constrict and create, whichever one they decide, emotion, feeling, and being. So literally speaking, like any good concept album should, this song perfectly really executes how you can allow music to make characters, conflict, and ideas come to life. I love the way in which this song sort of rips out of the gate and sort of delves right into some of that aggressive edge. But the one thing that I have to really spotlight on this track, which, by the way, if you are viewing this right after it goes up, there's a link in the description box. Go check out this song before it gets taken down again. The guitar solo on this, it's one that's set up very nicely by some keys, by a nice little bridge, an instrumental bridge, but man, it still hits you kind of out of nowhere. It's a short one. This is not one where Petrucci is taking 30 seconds to a minute of your time in order to really be expressive on his instrument, which is one thing I'm a bit concerned about, but it's still one that evokes a lot. It really sort of sets up further conflict, or it sets up further sequence that is really an important facet and an important aspect that I feel that this concept disc will have. Now, one little slight criticism, and I might get some flack for this, but it's just my own opinion, is I'm not a huge fan of the end of this song. I'm not a huge fan of just taking that up an octave and having that sort of suffice. I would have really liked a little bit more for that to set up a little bit of what's to come with the, track 3 or 4, sort of a little bit more of further advancement. I've never really been a big fan of just that octave shift up in order to cause a completion of a track, just to sort of get it out of the way. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with this in order to set up whatever is to come next. But once again, though, it's a minor complaint, a minor gripe, considering LeBray's vocal performance on this is pretty well done. I wouldn't exactly call it exemplary. However, I would call it about par for the course for James LeBray. Overall, this is a very, very good song. It evokes the proper emotion. It has a little bit of interest behind it, and for those that may say that perhaps the song is a bit typical or a bit, expected, you have to understand that this is just one cog, one simple piece of the puzzle that The Astonishing will no doubt be. So this is what is to be expected from a concept disc of this lavish variety. This is incredible. But I want to know what you guys think about Moment of Betrayal by Dream Theater. Let me know in the comments below. your thoughts on this song, and we are about a week and a half away from hearing this entire disc and, you know, hearing what it's all about, the majesty, the concept, and everything is going to come to life. And I want to know what you guys think so far and what your expectations are going in to the Astonishing, which is set to be released next Friday. Let me know. I'm Cover Killer Nation, perhaps future host of a VH1 themed metal show. Seriously, how can you say no to this face? I'll talk to you later.